Right. Okay. Yes, Spain is in a dire situation, as most European countries are. I would first. Is it okay like that? I would first argue that, as I recently heard someone say, it's not a question of a crisis, of a financial crisis. It's just the end of a period, and we're in a phase of transition towards something else, and we really don't know what that else will be. And that gives a feeling of being lost and of trying to find one's way, and touching here and touching there, and trying this and trying that. Secondly, I would say that I'm very bad at mice. Yes, sorry, yes. Second thing I would like to say is that I recently read an article by Paul Krugman, who says, why the austerity policies have failed. And I think that he's very good at synthesizing why this whole approach to austerity policies, as we have known them in Europe, have actually failed. And okay, he explains things for an ignorant like me in economics, and he makes it very understandable. What I would think is important, what he says, is that governments, public administration, has failed to take its responsibility, has been led too much on what have been, the reports that have been proven later by the MFI to be not really correct, first thing, but that they have been led by what he calls a need to uplift the social and collective morale, to clean their souls, and it's more of a psychological attitude than actually one that is based on figures, numbers, and strategic analysis. Coming to what you have asked, Spain is, again, in a dire situation, but what is happening right now in review is that the European Commission has put forward the new Creative Europe program, which apparently will be approved, and is totally and exclusively focused on the creative sector and only for small and medium enterprises. Therefore, the big drawback right now is not that we won't have funding for the creative sector. No, the drawback is that we won't have funding for the not-for-profit sector. So that kind of culture that does not produce a benefit will no longer be supported. In order to have funding from the European Commission in the next 7 years, which is 2014 to 2020, you will need to prove that you're putting forward a project that, in inverted commas, makes money, makes it money. What's happening is that, at least in Southern Europe, and Italy and Spain that I know a little bit better, governments are indeed retiring funding from old folk culture. They are not investing in culture at all, let alone creative industries. It's just absolutely a zero on the general budget, and they are reverting all the responsibility to a higher level, which is supposed to be the European Union. As regards where the investments are going, well, basically, I'm not sure that there are any investments right now. Money is going to pay debts. Now, if I go back to Paul Krugman, it's not a way to boost, growth. It's absolutely the contrary. You're paying your debt, but you're not investing money in making anything move forward. So possibly EU member states should, draw back a little, take a deep breath, and say, okay, what do we have to do to get things moving, to make things better for the citizens in general. Middle class, lower class, whatever. Rich people are getting ever richer, but middle class is being constrained in Europe, and the poor are ever poorer in Europe. I read in a newspaper a few weeks ago, La Vanguardia, that 1 out of every 4 families in Spain is under the roof of poverty. So that is a big thing for Europe, and especially for a country like Spain, which has in the last 30 years has really advanced in this.